Here on Family History Fanatics, we love to have fun. So, since it's Halloween, let's get creepy and let's explore newspapers for some really lovely gems. Happy Halloween, y'all. This is Elvina. I'm Mistress of the darkest little archive you've ever seen. And today, we're going to talk about creepy finds in newspapers. Now, newspapers give us a glimpse into the past and how much Halloween has changed. Check out this little nugget. Halloween, Halloween, night of merrymaking, old and young, joining the fun. Cabbage stealing, homeward fleeing, neighbors chasing with a gun. Yeah, I don't think the little youngins would like to be chased with a gun these days, would they? Now, newspapers like to help us remember some of our creepy superstitions. And in this one, it's just not the black cat that crossed the road. Take a look. Isn't it funny that if a cat sneezes when a bride enters her house, she may not have a happily ever after? And beware of those wrens. You kill one and you might just drop dead. But I especially love the one about the dogs. They're supposed to be a man's best friend, but it looks like a dog can predict some serious calamities. Now it's time to start looking for some creepy things in newspapers. And Devon Noel Lee, who typically does these types of things, she has a video about doing keyword research. So let's do some keyword research and see what we can find. Creepy. Was the three-legged Irish stool the basis of our modern chair? That's not really creepy, is it? Let's try again. Creepy. It has something to do with kidney disease. Well, that's a little better, but we Halloween lovers need to get a little bit more ooh. So we turned to our Family History Fanatics fans over on Facebook and YouTube, and y'all shared some amazing finds. Now, the first one is from Linda's Family of Nuts. Isn't that great? And she has a blog post you want to read about voices in the wind. Isn't that kind of creepy? For sure. Didn't have any newspapers, so I turned to another viewer from Genealogy. You'll be able to find links to these two blog posts in our description. Now, Genealogy, she has a post that you definitely want to read about the mysterious origins of an Irishman who went a little creepy and crazy. Now, that blog was by Renee Schmidt, and she found some wonderful nuggets. One of them was about a wedding. At this wedding, the bride, who had been married a few times before, she wanted to have the guests listen to a song that was a favorite of one of her previous husbands. And it was called Hark from the Tombs. Ooh, that's nice and creepy. But Renee sent me on a hunt. She shared a story about being buried alive. And so I went to newspapers.com and found quite a few stories. Oh, be ready to be chilled. The first one is about a little girl who wasn't feeling too well. So the physician came to visit and told the family what to do overnight. He went to go visit another patient, and on his way back to check on the first young lady that was in this article, he met the undertaker, who was getting a casket ready for the first girl, a Miss Maud Wallace. And Maud Wallace was probably very thankful for that physician, because he hustled his little self over to the home and told the family, don't you dare put her in that box because she's still alive. Well, thank you very much, but that's a little scary, don't you think? Our next story comes from down under in Australia. It appears that some family had to relocate their beloved deceased. And when they did, and they moved the casket, it turns out a black ribbon was well preserved inside. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Have you ever seen some movies where people pop up out of the casket to try to scare people? Well, this one wasn't just a practical joke. It appears that on the way to the funeral, as people are carrying the coffin in the procession, some noises started to come out of the box and started to make people a little worried. Well, thankfully, they put the box down to find out what was inside. And the person who they thought was dead wasn't so dead. I'm so glad she didn't quite make it to the ground before people started realizing she was still alive and kicking. But I'm sure those who attended that funeral didn't forget that creepy sounds anytime soon. Now, we're going to talk about people who have a kind of a creepy job, which I definitely love. And that is grave robbers. Yeah, I said it. Grave robbers. And this gem is just delightful. It appears that some grave robbers dug up the body of a woman who had some treasures buried with her. They didn't get treasures. They got a surprise of their life. The woman sat up and said, "What's going on?" and scared them senseless. So senseless, they were admitted into an asylum. But I'm sure that woman was glad she got dug up. Now this last story's sad but creepy. And thanks to Renee, she found it. Well, apparently a little boy died, but inside of him, he had a mouse. Now mice creep most women out, but to find one inside the body of your child who you thought had diarrhea and had something else going on inside, I'm sure that was kind of gross. Well, happy Halloween, y'all. And we hope that you will take some time to dig into newspapers to not only find your relatives, but to appease your morbidly strange curiosity for the creepy. As a reminder, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more family history fun, because if it isn't fun, you're doing it wrong. And we hope you'll check out some of our latest videos with some other strange characters like Bambi and Phil.